Awesome. Okay, so let's get cracking on this, the cash builder formula. So today's topic is really around how to build an endless stream of cash flow. Cash flow isn't what most of us think it is. Right? And so today I'm going to show you a slightly different and entrepreneurial perspective on cash flow. So here's a saying by Vern Harnish. I love this one. You can get by without decent people, without decent strategy and decent execution, but not a day without cash. If you run out of cash, it's game over. Yeah, so one of the things you need to ask yourself is this. If my business didn't get any more cash in today, how long would it take for me? How long would I be able to last? Would I last a week? Would I last 2 months? Would I last 3 months? And then once you know that answer, you can then start layering different levels of cash flow on top of that. You can start saying, okay, now let's look at my existing client base. If you've got repeat clients, how much cash does that bring in? And then how long can we last then? New projects, what is coming in, and how does that change the picture? How long can I last then, right? And that starts to force you to think a little bit more creatively about, so where's the next cash flow going to start coming from? And that's really what I'm going to cover today, is what I call future cash flow, future cash. So we got present cash. That's cash that's coming in from existing customers or the existing flow of business, almost business as usual cash. And then there's future cash as well. That's new cash. And having that new cash is what's going to give you confidence in your ability to generate cash over time. Right? So today I want to talk about how to create that future cash. And then at the next session, we can talk about how to manage the existing cash. What are the 5 levers that you can pull that can make changes to your cash and improve the existing cash flow? Right. So I'm going to start here, and I really just want to talk you guys through this. What we all want is to be secure in cash. We want to have confidence in our business that cash is going to be able to come in now and in the future. Right? We don't want to be in that space where we've got this continual anxiety about how am I going to pay the bills? What if these clients leave? You don't want to be in that position all the time where you've got this anxiety around making money. You want to be secure in cash. And there's a couple of things that prevent us from getting there from an entrepreneurial perspective, right? The first thing is we don't really know what drives cash. Okay? Cash isn't what we think it is conventionally. So I want to show you something a little bit different today. Right? We don't know how to generate new cash streams for our business as well. And then we don't spend our time intentionally on working on developing new cash streams for our business. And without answers to those, you can't be securing cash. You're always going to be working with today's cash and never the future cash. You're always going to have anxiety around where's the next bit of cash going to come. So the answer to that is, you don't know what truly drives cash is creating value versus making money. So there's a big difference in the mindset and approach in creating value versus making money. I'm going to unpack that for you. Then if you don't know how to generate new cash, you do need to understand how future cash system will work for you, how to create this future cash. And then you've got to really get to understand that cash is about how you manipulate your time, I know that sounds crazy, but I'm going to show you how that works. How you use your time is a great predictor of what your future cash flow is going to be. Yeah. So let me talk through a couple of these pointers. Let's start at the bottom there with creating value versus making money. Right? So yeah, the key is to have a different orientation, mental orientation, compared to what the majority of business owners have, right? Most business owners think about having a system to make money, okay? Selling certain products and certain services, and I'm getting something in exchange for that, some cash in exchange for that, right? And I've got to try and sell as many of these things as possible to get the cash in. The entrepreneurs that really grow have a different mindset. For them, it's about how do I create more and more value for my prospects and my clients so that they will want to pay me more for those products and services, that additional value that I keep creating for them, right? So it's a completely different mindset. In the second mindset, the cash flow is almost a byproduct of value creation. Right? So how do we do that? Right? It's actually not very difficult. It's quite simple. Right? First thing you need to do is you've got to know your clients almost intimately. They're thinking, what they want, etc. But particularly, you've got to know what are their pain points, what are their frustrations, what are their aspirations around what they're trying to achieve when it comes to the things that you're, the area that you're operating in. And usually it's one of three areas: health, wealth, and relationships. Right? In a very broad sense, it comes down to those three things. So if you really know what your prospects are thinking about, what they're struggling with, what they want to aspire to, that gives you the insight and the ammunition to start thinking creatively around how to create value for them so you can get that future cash flow stream, right? So let me give you an example. Dan Sullivan's got a great example of this, of an accountant that I think it was after, I could be wrong, but I think it was after COVID when things were coming back again. And he's having great difficulty cross-selling any additional products and services to his clients. Right? So he thought, okay, let me do this. I'm not going to sell anything. The next quarter, this coming quarter, I'm going to go have a meeting with each and every one of them, or as many as I can. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to talk about where they are right now, what their problems, frustrations are, how they're trying to, cope and adapt, and where do they want to be in a year's time. Right? And he saw 25 of his clients in that quarter, and he reported back and said he's had the best quarter ever as a result of that exercise. And the reason was because when he was sitting with those clients and they were talking about the problems and the frustrations, and he asked them, so where do you want to be? Right? Where do you want to be in a year's time? And how do you want to get there? That opened up opportunities to help people who were excited about a new future, right? So you've got to understand that clients, they don't like to spend today's money, but they'll spend what we call future money, right? When you're giving them or helping them achieve something that they want to achieve, and you're showing how you can help them to get there, they are a lot more willing to spend money with you than if you're just not helping them with it, just doing transactional things all the time, right? So you've got to really think about how can I help them, and how can I measure that help that I'm giving them? And it can be defined by, a number or an event. Like I'm going to have better health, or, I'm going to lose so many kilos, or I'm going to have so much more cash, etc. Right? So that's the mindset that you've got to start from. You've got to get really, really close to your prospects and your clients and understand what is it that they are struggling with, and what is it that they want as a result. Right? Then the second side is you've got to create this additional value for them, and that really means you've got to be able to do some innovative stuff in your business, create some different solutions, unique solutions. And the key, one of the things that most business owners really struggle with is they don't know how to package and price. They think that their product or their service is their offer to the market, right? But it isn't, and it shouldn't be. Right? Your offer is really so much more. And until you really get your head around how to package and how to price what you are offering, you're not going to really going to make headway. So what I want to do is, I'm just going to go down to this to over here. Right? I want to give you this example. So this was a very small business owner, not a client, but I helped around this. Derek is entering. Okay. So I helped this particular business owner with her business. So what she did was she was had a body massage business, and basically she was offering stress and tension relief, 400 Rand for 1 hour. Yeah. Now, put yourself into that person's shoes, right? What do you offer your clients so that you can build up your cash flow more, right? Well, the thing is to really understand your client is the first thing. What do they want? What adds value to them? And so we went through that process, and we turned this offer. Remember, it's about creating an offer and a price for it. We turned that very simple offer of 400 Rand for 1 hour session into an offer that looked like this, right? So total and complete relief of stress, tension, and anxiety. That is the outcome or the result that people want, right? They don't just want a massage. They want relief of tension and anxiety. They want to feel better. They want to enjoy the process as well. Full body massage, it'll make you feel like a new person. Right? So this is talking about giving them a bit of a transformation, right? Something different. They feel different at the end of the result. They experience a difference by going through this process. Then we looked at the various value aspects that she can add in. So enjoy your massage while sipping on a glass of bubbly or fresh juice. You get 1 hour full body massage. And we started looking at what else would add value to the client. Free welcome glass of bubbly or juice worth 30 Rand. Free 15-minute sound therapy. She had this sound therapy equipment, and she was qualified in that as well, which could also help help the client. So free 15-minute sound therapy worth 120 Rand. Energy healing techniques included, right? She's got certain training in energy healing. And then Glamour Girl gift vouchers worth 500 Rand. And I'm going to show you how she managed to do that, because you'll be thinking, well, how can she put 500 Rand in, because she's not going to make any money now, right? So all-inclusive package worth 1,200 Rand for only 550 Rand. Okay. So what she's done here is she's broken up her offering and shown the value that each bit actually is worth, and then totaled it up and said, this is really what you're getting, right? I'm giving you a package with 1,200, but I'm charging you 550, right? Then a call to action, call Amanda now, and then book within the next 2 weeks and get a yoga session with 350 Rand. Once again, understanding her client base, who they are, and that they're likely to be into things like yoga as well, because they're health conscious and they're looking at stress relief and things like that. Right? So she added that in. You're going to ask her, how could she put in another 350 Rand now? Now she's not making any money. The Glamour Girl gift vouchers are worth 500 and the yoga is 350. That's 850. And she's actually charging 550. Right? So you really got to understand how to package and how to bring other people into, into the process. So let me just show you the thinking behind this. How can she offer this value? Well, the first thing you've got to do is you've got to ask yourself, how much is a client worth to you? Right? If a client comes to you, then how much profit do you make out of that visit? And how many times do they, how many repeat visits are there typically in your client base? So in this example, let's say she makes 500 Rand profit, times 3, that's 1,500 Rand of profit that she makes. Right? So then you've got to ask yourself, how much am I willing to pay away to buy this client? So maybe I'm willing to pay 10%, which is 150 Rand, to buy a client that's going to give me 1,500 Rand. So you've got to start thinking about offering value to get value, right? And if there are a lot of repeat visits, say 6 over the next 2 years, then you might be willing to give away more because actually the value of a client is worth a lot more to you, right? So if you know this, how to do this calculation, you can now go to other people who also want clients. So you go to people who've got, who want the same clients that you have, but perhaps offer a different product or service, right? So for example, Amanda was in a center where there was a nail treatment and a hair salon as well. So she went to the nail treatment or the nail bar and she said, listen, would you like more clients? And they said, yeah, of course we want more clients. Okay, well, I'll tell you what's a new client worth to you? So she went through this exercise with them, right? And then asked them, so how much of that are you willing to pay to get a new client, right? And the nail bar might say, well, I'm willing to give away, let's say 50 Rand to get a new client, right? Okay. What does a nail treatment cost you? Well, maybe it's 50 Rand. What do you charge for that? 200 Rand. So that's the retail price the client sees. Well, I'll tell you what, why don't you give me a gift voucher with 200 Rand? And what I'm going to do is when my clients, I'm going to track clients in and I'm then going to offer them that free treatment worth 200 Rand. Right? And boom, there the other party starts to get a free, a client as well, right? Or low cost client. Same with the hair salon, right? And same with the others, the yoga. Right? And going through that then enabled her to do a couple of things. Number one, to package some real value. Sorry, to package some real value into an offer and to charge more, because she went from 400 Rand to 550 Rand. And if I'm not mistaken, if I remember correctly, there was like a 33% increase in profitability and a higher attractiveness to attract more clients into her business. Right? So this is what I mean by really understanding your clients deeply, right? And then knowing how to package and how to price so that you can attract the right clients and you can generate higher profitability for your business as well. So if you look on the right-hand side, then it's innovate those new solutions, like I showed you, know how to package and price. And then basically what you're doing is you're taking what we call your cash, your knowledge, your attitude, your services, and your habits, right? You're bringing all those things into play in creating a new solution that is unique. It's unique to you, and it offers great value to your clients, right? Use your clients as collaborators as well to generate and develop these new offerings, as well as other parties, like I showed you, other collaborators that could help you to build really, really great packages. The other thing is, when you're creating that for them, try to think transformational. All right, not transactional. Right? I'm going to sell you something. So let me give you another very simple example. Let's say you run a garden service, and every week you come along and you mow the lawn and you trim hedges and you do all those kinds of things and make it look pretty, right? And I give you money for that. Right? That's transactional. Right? But transformational would be something like, if you came to me and said, well, you know, you've got a lot of expansive lawn, there's not much flowers, etc. What would you like your garden to look like? What would an ideal garden look like for you? And I'd say, well, you know, it would be subtropical and it would look like this, and I'll give you the whole story. And if you then said, so what, you know, what's holding you back from getting that? Well, I don't have number one, I don't have the time, and number two, I don't have the green fingers, or whatever the case may be. If he then says, okay, well, why don't we do this? Every time I come along, I will do a little bit more. And by, you know, within 6 months, by midsummer, you're going to have a really nice looking garden already. And within a year or 2 years, you're going to have a lush subtropical forest. Would you like that? And then I can charge you for, you know, for that service. That's transformational, because I'm getting something that's transformed. It's different. It's added a lot more value to, you know, to me as well. Right? So think transformational, not transactional, and then always work towards better and more profitable clients. So if you're always sitting with the same kind of clients, right, then you're also not progressing, right? You want to be able to improve your package, like Amanda improved her package for stressed out executive or working females as such, because that was her target audience. But what she could maybe start doing now, once she's got that, is to say, well, you know, some of them maybe don't just want a once-off treatment. They really want stress relief over a period of time. So why don't I put a 3-month transformational package together, where there are a series of these massages, and in between there's maybe some sleep therapy and some meditation programs that they need to do themselves. I'll put that all together and give them a total solution, which is more transformational, and for which I can charge more, but find more and more of those clients who are willing to pay that, you know, for those additional services. And then you start to drop off those clients that were originally, you stop attracting those that were originally the clients you started off with, but maybe don't suit you anymore, right? And you start to always move up, you know, up the value chain, right? And then the next thing, the third thing is manipulating your time for more cash. So you've got to really understand this. Money follows your calendar, right? If I can put it that way. If I look at your calendar and I see what are you doing there? What of these high value creation things that you are creating, where are they in your calendar? When are you going to launch them? When are offers going out for this? Who's it going out to? If there's nothing of that in your calendar, right, then I know it's going to be difficult for you to increase your cash flow. Right? So the key here is we all got the same amount of time. We got X amount of time, right? Some people manage with that same amount of time to do things that generates a lot more cash for them. Others with the same amount of time are incredibly busy, just as busy, maybe even more busy, but cannot generate that extra cash. Why is that? It's because of the way they have used their time and attention. So you've got to be committed to saying, I need to improve my cash flow overall, right? And I need to really get close to my customer, understand what they want. I've got to work on some value creating offers, packaging and pricing around that. And to do that, I've got to block time in my calendar to work specifically on these things. Because if I don't do that, it's not going to happen. Right? So you've got to free up some of the low value things that you're doing to block out time to do the high value cash generating things that are going to generate a stream of cash for you over time. Right? And you've got to also realize that you basically need to focus on three sort of specific times of how you use your energy, right? And your attention. And that is, firstly, what we call your genius time, right? In your business, you are almost like the brain surgeon of the hospital, right? You are the person, you as the owner of and the founder of the business, you are sitting on specific skills, your cash, your knowledge, attitude, skills, habits, right? You're sitting on there. There's one or two things that you really do well. And you've got to spend some of that block time using that competency of yours to build those new cash generating things. The second thing is you need to make sure that you've got what we call strategy time or strategic time, that you are able to sit down and set yourself some goals for what you want to achieve by the end of the year. Okay, what are the things that you're going to be selling and what's the cash flow going to look like, right? And then being able to break it down into what am I going to do this quarter? A quarter is 12 weeks. So what's my plan to deliver this quarter? Am I going to sit with my clients like the accountant in the first quarter and just figure out where are they, what are they struggling with, where do they want to go to? Next quarter, I might be developing a high value solution that I can charge more for as well. And then the third quarter might be I'm going to be launching that and getting it out to as many prospective clients and existing clients as possible to see how I can refine it, take it to market and improve it and generate that new cash flow stream. So in essence, today, as I said, he's talking about building that cash confidence, right? Building cash, being secure in cash. And it's about the future cash flow, really getting close to your clients. Don't fall in love with your products and services. Fall in love with your clients' problems, aspirations, challenges, frustrations, things where they want to go, and then look at how you can create, package, and price total solutions for them that help them, have a bit of a transformation. And make sure that you've got time in your calendar, that you've got a plan to deliver it. Otherwise, it's never, ever going to happen. Right. Once you've got that going, you start to generate a virtuous cycle of cash flow. Right. You start to become more valuable to your clients. Okay. you stop competing with others who are offering the same thing, because you're creating very, very unique solutions for your types of clients who have very, very unique kinds of problems, right? And aspirations. And so you stop worrying about competition, because you're not competing against anybody. You're really providing dedicated solutions and value to a group of clients that are willing to pay you for, for those solutions. That's how you start to create cash confidence. It's a fundamentally different mindset to a mindset of, I've got to sell these things. Those are like transactional mindset. Where can I sell them? How can I sell more? I've got to get some people to buy this, these things. You've got to shift into a more entrepreneurial mindset to be able to create those future cash flows. Okay, so this is about the future money. I haven't spoken about how to optimize today's money, which I will do in the next, in the next session. Looking at, if you've got existing cash flow, what are the levers that you can use to improve that cash flow, to give you more cash, to unlock more cash from what you already have. This is about how to make sure that you always in the future have cash streams coming in that's under your control. All right. Okay, so guys, over to you. Any Q&A or any specific insights that you've gotten out of this? Did this add value to you today?
Sure thing, Pete. Came at the right time. Yeah, it's just interesting when you look at the if you put your can you put your thing back up there, maybe your last slide you used? No, that one. So I mean, I've just made some notes here where you talk about the three elements, and it's so vital. I mean, the first one I said, what drives cash? As you say, in our game, it's probably quite, you've got to mix the creating value versus making sales to make money. But at the end of the day, you've got to get your message across to exactly what you said, the problems you're solving for customers, that they come back to you to repurchase, or they then like the brand and they just repurchase it automatically. But then on the right-hand side of that triangle, you talk about your future cash system. You don't know what's it you say, don't know how to generate new cash. And I just made a note there, it's the determining the right revenue streams as such, yeah. But very pertinent points to consider, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So, Dave, in sort of your line of business as such, if we look at that creating value for your prospects, it comes back to always saying, why would they want to buy my product? What's it doing for them?
Yeah.
How can we position it so that it can do even more for them? So that we understand who they are, what they're trying to achieve with that, right? And I think we spoke about that before. Are they diabetics that want a drink that's healthy and refreshing that doesn't affect their diabetic condition? Whatever it is, or are there people that are looking at weight loss or health or whatever the component is. On the other side, then creating those value-adding solutions in your specific industry. You've got the end consumer, right? So you've got to have a really, really good offering and brand for them, but also for your resellers, right? So you've really got to sit down and innovate around that and say, what do these guys really want? What are they trying to achieve? How can we help them achieve that as well? So that you've got almost two offerings, right? One end user and one for your reseller. right? And then, on the left, it's really about making sure that you are dedicating enough attention to those items that so that you can continuously improve the value that you're generating for those guys.
So a question which I've been mulling over for a while is if we're looking to maybe widen let's talk about the base, the people to sell, because in the actual retail market, it's quite difficult to get in. So we're looking more at maybe direct sales or getting people to come on board. From your knowledge and experience, what are people currently looking at for? Are they looking to be, if you position it to become an entrepreneur and have your own business? My question, which is challenging the question challenging my mind at the moment, is what is the real desire of people? You look at one or two other businesses where they are enhancing their brand by having people come on board as maybe mass distributors or agents. But are they looking to just turn a buck to give them earning potential? Or are they really looking to grow them as a business person? And I'm saying from our perspective, you're probably wanting to widen your thing where you've got agents who want to grow in their own sphere a small business, but that's not the main thing. They want to make money, in my view. Am I on the wrong planet, or are people really looking? I mean, the immediate gratification is probably the most important thing at the moment, and making bucks to survive. So I'm got that predicament when I think, do I want to grow people to come on board to become resellers for us or direct agents? But what is their intention? To make a buck or to grow a sustainable business?
Yeah, so everybody's got to make a profit to have a business. If you don't make a profit, you don't really have a business, or you're not going to have one for very long, right?
Yeah.
So that's a given, right? But they've also got certain aspirations, right? So, and you've got to go and dig in and find out what that is. So, I've got another client that sells garden tool equipment to resellers as well in the market. And those guys have got a lot of other brands of garden tools in their stores, right? So what are these guys trying to do? Well, of course, they're trying to sell those products for a good margin. Okay, so that's the first thing. How profitable can you make it for them to sell your product and service? But that's not all. The other things that they really struggle with is they would struggle with, for example, the returns. Okay, so if something's not working, bring it back to the store, and then they've got to try and deal with getting this equipment back to where it needs to be fixed, returned, being in touch with the customer, etc. It's a big pain for them, right? It's a big drawback. So the solution that my client is working around is, we're going to take that pain away from you as well. And we're going to enable you to get more margin. And then our model is going to use, internet sales as well, but not competing against you, but, selling for you, literally, and then getting people to come and click and collect at your store. So, thinking through what are they frustrated with? What would they like to see different? Can you, in your solution, take some of those pains away and add more value to them? That's really what it's about, right?
Yeah. I liked your, that other item which was really relevant was that example of the lady with the stress relief and things like that.
Yeah.
I mean, that's partnering with, and also one of the things that crossed my mind at the time was that if the lady who's doing the stress relief is providing business to the people in the center, they're not having to market. their marketing is reduced because this lady is referring customers to them. So their acquisition cost of that customer or new customers is reduced then if they're getting other people to refer their people to them. So they're getting more throughput. Okay, they might not make the profit, but they initially, or because they probably give a little bit away in the beginning, but the long-term return is there's less acquisition cost to them.
Yeah, absolutely. Right. Absolutely. It's a win-win all round.
For all the three parties. So similarly, they come to, the nail parlor and then can refer customers to the stress person. But okay, obviously it might be a slightly different margin which is available, but at least they supposedly give a bit of a discount when they refer it to somebody else, and then that lady doesn't have to advertise, or she advertises less.
Yeah, absolutely. So, it's through that collaboration. So you use your clients to help you collaborate on the solution, as well as other partners who can all benefit from this, right? So you've got to think beyond just you and your product and service, and how can we collaborate to add value that adds value to everybody else as well.
Yeah, I like that.
It's a different way of thinking. But it's an important
mindset of transformational versus transactional.
Yeah, try and make the offering something that is transformational for them in some sense. The garden's going to look fundamentally different. The stress relief, we're going to put you on a 6-month program, and we're going to really get the stress under control for you. Whatever it is, some kind of transformational aspect to it, where the person's future is better, the result is better, the outcome is better than what they've got now. That makes sense. Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah. Anna, your thoughts?
Peter, I liked what you presented. I just want you to explain again to me, there's one wording here, don't spend your time intentionally. What do you exactly mean by that?
Oh, sorry. Okay, they don't spend their time intentionally. Okay, I'm not saying don't do it. You must spend it intentionally. The problem is they don't spend time intentionally. Business owners don't spend time intentionally to put time aside to work on the high value things. They get so caught up in the delivery and the operational things and everything that goes with that, and running the day-to-day business, that they don't make time to be very intentional about creating new value for their clients. And so it just falls by the wayside.
I find value in that, but where my real value falls is what you said, is your suggestion of making a specific appointment with my clients to see what their stress and gripes really are, how I can assist on that. I've listened to a conversation this morning about communication, and it's interesting that in that session or in that talk, they focused quite a bit on talking person to person. Excuse me. And we tend to get into the work. You need to do the work, but you don't really talk person to person, and then it will actually come out what that person's real stress is about in your line of work, in your line of offering. So that gave me a little bit more perspective to think I must actually make appointments with my existing clients. And then also the offering that you mentioned, I definitely think now I'm going to offer something to my clients, suppliers, so that I can maybe get the word out that I do transitional instead of transactional. So those two are the things that I take away from this meeting.
Okay,
Thank
awesome.
you.
That's great, Anna. I think spend that time with the clients and understand their pains and frustrations, etc. But also ask them, what would they like the future to be like? Where would they like to be a year from now? Because that'll give you an idea of the kind of transformation they want.
Oh,
And
those
then
are
you can, and then you can say, okay, how can I help them get there with what I do? Because they'll be willing to pay for that. That's a future better state. If you get that right, then you've got a new cash flow stream. Okay.
Yes, I've written that down. Thank you.
Right, Anna. Hi, Derek. Derek there? No, okay. All right, guys. So if you've, I hope you've enjoyed. I hope you got good value from today's episode of the training. If you're watching the video replay, I'd love you to share it, like it, subscribe so you don't miss any future episodes. And if you have any comments or you want to get in touch, head over to vantagecoach.co.za, book a call with me. And most importantly, guys, keep up the good fight, keep up creating value, and hope to see you on the next session.